Hello fellow Necromancers, this is FC7. Today I'm going to share a solo spot that I used to solo a lot back during the Veil of Valeris days. It's for basically level 95s, possibly level 100. Experience really starts to drop after that, but this tactic is super easy and will net you a lot of experience. It is a task called Reclaiming Argath. You will need 6 solo tasks complete before you're able to request it. The tasks you need are simply the partisan achievements in Argath, which are on the screen right now. There's 6 of them. You'll also need an Alaran skill level of 10, I believe. I don't know if that rule is still in effect because they took away a lot of the Alaran requirements like a couple expansions ago. But in case that's still in effect, I have a whole video on how to get your Alaran skill level up doing 2 tasks in Charge Landing, so check that out if you need to. So as soon as you can request this task, you will go up to a mob named Elturus Council Pinnacle, which we have on the screen, and just say the word join, and you should automatically get the task. And here we are. This one's a little bit weird. You cannot use any kind of mercenaries in this zone. So this is something probably only a Necromancer can solo. Now you go through the dialogue. So you'll receive 3 items on your cursor. One of them will be a battle orb, the next an arm cannon, and the last an airship safety suppression device. You don't need any of those things right now. Just load up all the dots that you can. Make sure you have your life tap up as well. Because you'll be going on the airship, as soon as you step on it, it starts the task going to the next step. You may also want to have Reflect up. I know it's not a spell that people use very often, but it can be useful in this task. So you jump on the airship and it starts moving. I'm actually doing this as a silver player because I let my account lapse. So I'm level 105 right now, but my hit points, mana, and all my gear is not working, so it kind of is like doing this at level 95, 10 levels lower than I am. Okay, so back to the task. The airship is going to take you around these 2 floating stones, and there's about 6 mobs on each one, and it's going to take you in a circle around each stone until the 6 mobs are dead. So what you're going to want to do is just target the mobs and just dot them to death. This really is no threat to you because they can't touch you, they can't melee. They do cast spells, but they're really nothing that you can't life tap back. So we'll just adjust the UI a little bit so you get a better view. I think at level 95 these guys are, they con red, maybe dark blue. So as you can see, the tactic is just going around a circle on the stone. There's 6 mobs, they can't touch you. You just dot them all to death. Really, the tactic is that simple. So we'll go around the circle here, and you can see how easy it is. It's also fun to use your reflect spells, so you can reflect their dots and their direct damage spells back to them. It's actually one of the only uses I've ever found for reflect. You may also want to have the AA ability Gift of the Grave up, because that absorbs incoming spell damage. Maybe have Shield of Consequence up as well. Although that's more for melee damage. I'll have to check into that. So depending on your mana pool, this should give you plenty of time to med up and get your mana back, because it does a little bit of a slow turn right here. So there we have Gift of the Grave. That should mitigate a little bit of the incoming spell damage. So on to the Floating Stone number 2. And it helps to have extended range for spellcasting up if you have that kind of focus on, because you want to start your dots as soon as possible. So I just target the nearest guy and just keep casting my first dot until it lands. Range helps a lot. Extended range, spell range. So there's 6 on this floating tower as well. It's actually good to use Splurt with this one too. That's a long duration dot, the longest duration dot we have. They haven't upgraded it in a couple of expansions though. I actually have a video on solo and reclaiming, but I didn't do any commentary. It's down in my video list somewhere. But I think what I'm going to do is go through a lot of my former solo spots and post them on YouTube. So maybe I'll do the best solo spot at 90, 85, 80, stuff like that. But I know the best experience in the game is still doing Gribble's missions and heroic adventures, but this is more for people who are tired of doing heroic adventures all the time and just want something relaxing. And there's actually an achievement that happens if you can kill all 12 of these guys on both pillars in under a certain amount of time. So another thing I was going to mention is there's actually 2 parts to this tactic. The first part is killing all 12 on the 2 towers. As soon as you kill all 12, just drop the task and get a new task and kill 12 more, and so on and so forth, if you understand. So you can just keep doing killing these 2 towers by getting a different task every time. That's the first tactic. The second tactic is if you actually want to finish the task, which is what we're going to do now. If you're just interested in the experience portion of this tactic, then you might not want to watch the rest of the video. But if you're actually interested in watching the soloing of this task, just keep watching. So if you're just in this for experience, you can just drop the task right now and get it again, get back on the airship, so on and so forth. Okay, so now after the 2 towers are defeated, the next step is to kill some invaders. Kill 3 invaders that are attacking the pinnacle, and the 3 guys are coming up pretty soon. I was also going to mention, if you have the tier, working on the tier progression, you may want to have that equipped as well, because we're killing some mobs in Argath, so I think that counts towards completing your tier, your stone tier. So I'm going to try to speed this video up a little bit. So here we are. We are approaching the invaders. And if you're doing this at level 95, be very careful. What I like to do is go to the back of the airship. Make sure you're not in the front or you will get hit. Feign death as soon as you get close to them. You won't get any aggro, so get up from feign death and start dotting these guys. Make sure you stay out of melee range. This is where Shield of Consequence could come in handy as well. This is the only part of the quest where you might get hit. I'm not sure about the level 95 version of Shield of Consequences. I'll have to look that up. Having Gifted the Grave up will help as well because it actually increases your height so that you can cast on these guys a little bit better. So as you can see, I'm moving from side to side, trying to cast on these guys. And if you fall off, you'll just go right back on the airship, so don't worry about falling. So there's one. There's two, and then we'll get the third one in a bit. So now we're on to a different set of invaders. So you'll see them spawn. And again, the best tactic is just to feign death so they don't aggro you right away. But in this case, I was a little bit careful and stayed far enough back so that they didn't aggro me. So again, just stop these three until they're dead. And I will fast forward through this part because it's simply doing what we've done before with the invaders. Okay, the next step after those guys are defeated is to kill 6 blaze mages on the 3rd tower. So the airship is going to take you right to the 3rd tower, but there are magic blasts coming directly at you that you'll have to take care of. So you'll want to target the nearest magic blast and just life tap. Continuously life tap because these things hit pretty hard. I would say if there's one difficult part of this task that's harder than the others, this would be the spot. So you'll see the magic blasts coming at you. There are these red orbs that are floating in the sky. So as soon as you get through that, just start targeting the blaze mages and dotting them up like you did with the first 2 towers. Be sure to have life tap up because these guys hit a little bit harder than the guys in the first 2 towers. And the magic blast will continue to try to hit you, so this is probably the most action-packed part. You actually get an achievement for killing a lot of these magic blasts. If you kill like 30 of them, you get an achievement. If you're into achievement hunting. If you don't have a huge mana pool, I recommend staying away from swift dots at this point because you don't want to run out of mana. Just regular duration dots should do. It might take a little while, but if you're at this point, you're not really trying to do this for speed, you're just trying to do this to get the task complete. Also have Reluctant Benevolence up. I don't know if you get that at 95. You might. But anyway, with RB, with every spell cast, you have a chance to return a lot of health. So I'd say before you start the third tower, have your life taps and RB up at all times. Just keep it going. Because these guys hit pretty hard, and the magic blasts are also hitting you at the same time. And there's a couple guys up on top of the tower that are a little bit hard to target, so you might have to do a little bit of jumping to target them. But with Gift of the Grave, it should make you tall enough so that you can actually target them. The strange thing about EverQuest is you actually need to be able to see their feet in order to cast on them. I don't know if a lot of people know that. So you could see the mob perfectly, but if their foot is like behind a rock or something, you can't cast on them. Alright, these guys should be defeated in a couple of seconds here. It won't be this easy or as fast if you're level 95. So if you complete the task, there's actually a nice augment that drops from the chest at the end. I actually still have it equipped, I believe. Okay, so after these guys are defeated, the next step is to fly towards the belly. Equip the arm cannon. And you don't have to do anything to control the airship. It automatically just goes by itself, so don't get the impression you need to be steering this thing or anything. Okay, so the next thing you'll need to do is kill 8 siege runners. And the airship will take you right where they are. So if you see the spiral staircase right in front of you, there's going to be mobs that are going to be try to run up, and you'll need to target them, and you'll need to click on the arm cannon. The arm cannon will shoot a projectile out and kill the mob instantly, but you have to time it right because sometimes they'll go behind the spiral and the projectile won't hit. So sometimes you'll need to shoot 2 or 3 times from the arm cannon. And if you don't want to point and click at the mob, just set a key aside on your keyboard that targets the nearest NPC, which is what I have on my keyboard. I have it as the F key, target nearest NPC. Sometimes I'll use a point and click, but I mostly just use the F key, target nearest one, target nearest NPC. That'll help at this point. It also helps when you're attacking the towers. It also helps if you have an alt or something that can stay out of the task. You can set yourself up as main assist, and you can have the ring help you out. The ring that is glowing on every target that you target. I know sometimes mobs are hard to see. A lot of my videos turn out really dark. I don't know if that's just a video card issue or if it's something with the game. So after the 8 siege runners are done, next step is to enter the belly. Okay, for this next part, there will be a couple different things going on. First of all, you'll want to equip your battle orb in your primary slot. Get rid of your arm cannon, you won't need that anymore. And you're going to want to drop orbs on 15 enemies below. In the meantime, there will be magic blasts coming at you from 12 invaders on the final 2 towers. So you're going to want to have the battle orb equipped, drop orbs on enemies below. You'll want to watch out for magic blasts that are coming at you. Just life tap them. And then you'll want to dot and defeat the 12 mobs that are left on the 2 towers. So here we go in the belly. And again, use target nearest NPC. And dropping orbs will only work on the mobs that look like soldiers. So there's a lot of different kind of mobs underneath. There's like mobs that look different than humanoids. So just target the humanoids and drop the orbs on them. In the meantime, watch out for the magic blast that'll be coming at you. And as soon as you get close to the towers, just target the NPCs that are up there and start your dots on them. Luckily, there's not as many magic blasts in the belly as there were in the 3rd tower, so you won't have to worry too much about the magic blasts, but they can hit you for a lot, so just beware. And watch out when you're dropping orbs, because they don't always hit the NPC that you have targeted. Sometimes there'll be an obstruction in the way that will prevent it from being hit. So I'm clicking the battle orb. This is not a quick task, so if you're going into this thinking that it's going to be really fast, you might not want to think that. And I found that you can't dot these guys and get credit. You have to drop the orbs on them. It would be easy if you could just like dot the guys below as well. Like I said, if you fall, don't worry, you'll just land right back on the airship. So that's really all there is for this part. I think what I'm going to do is fast forward through some of this so that the video doesn't take forever. because I'm already going on 25 minutes for the video. I don't like to have them go too long. It's basically just get 15 of these guys on the ground. Okay, so after 15 are done, we will defeat the remaining guys in the tower. I'll fast forward this part as well. Okay, so I just fast forwarded this a bit, and as you can see, most of the guys in the towers are defeated. Just need to do one more. We can find one more guy, and I forgot to mention, after you have the 15 mobs on the bottom defeated, you don't have to worry about dropping any more orbs on any of the guys below. Unless you want an achievement, there's one for that. You can equip your epic and just finish a task. So there we are, we're complete. We just need to wait for the airship to go back to the dock. So we will just wait for it to float, or maybe I'll fast forward this part too. It takes forever to get up there. The airship likes to take its time, and ain't nobody got time for that. So as you can see, we're floating. Oh, sorry about that. So my phone's going off. This is when things start erupting. And as soon as you get down, be sure to hail the magistrate as soon as you get down off the airship. So just jump off the airship, hail the magistrate, open the chest, and the task will be complete. And that's about it. Any questions, just leave them below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Everybody have a great day.